Alright, and here's the video review for Kamen Rider Gaim DX SUIKA arms, or the watermelon arms, that he got in last week's episode. I guess technically there's been another episode since then that I haven't seen yet. As it's Sunday night and it hasn't yet been subbed, at least I haven't checked, but usually it's not up on Sunday night. So I have not seen this week's episode, but the one with the debut of watermelon armor has been seen, hooray. And all that stuff. Now, it doesn't come in the box in the big watermelon shape. It comes in several pieces that you have to assemble, and I'm going to show you how to do that. And the instructions do as well, but I figured I'd take a little time to show you how to pop everything together. There's a couple little tricks. It also does come with a very basic Gaim figure. He's no articulation except for right here at the shoulder, and he can swivel at the thigh, and his head does not even turn. So, so it's just some thigh swivels, the legs all one solid piece, and the arms, and that's it. And he has a little plug on the back that lets him plug into the armor itself. Now, the armor itself is compatible with the arms change figures, and we'll show that off. But just the Gaim that comes with it is a very, very simple, basic Gaim. Now, to assemble the watermelon, you take both of these side panels and extend them all the way down like this. They're folded up like this. You can see that the piece that has the fan underneath them. Just like that. And you want to bring this up. The arms fold up like this. And then these plug in right here on the side of the main body piece here. So you just pop those right on. Yep. Come on. There we go. And once those are popped on, you can fold them down, and those will actually tab in right here on the bottom. There's a little slot here on the bottom part that this just tabs right into, just like that, on each side. And then, as you can see, you're starting to form the watermelon shape here. You can see the legs popped up here. There's a back plate. It's got a couple little springy bits here on the back that snaps in. You can see there's a couple little guide grooves here on the back of this. Just snap that right in place, and that folds down. And then on the front, here's the thing. There's these leg panels or the armor panels that pop in here, and you don't pop them in. You can pop them in. They've got the same compressing bits on either side. You can, if you want, force them in straight from head on. But there's actually little grooves up here in the top of the hinge here. So you actually want to take them in up like this and snap them down into place. They snap in much easier that way if you come up from above and find the little groove there in the thing and then snap them down from the top. So yeah. And then those fold up just like that, and then you've got what will be the helmet that plugs in. It tabs in right here backwards. So you can, there's a little tab there. Just like that onto the top. You can see the vine coming up. And then this piece right here, you take it with the green side, because one side has the red. The green side facing forward, and there's a clip right up here on top of the helmet, and it just clips right in here like that. You want to line the little vine part up there, and there is the watermelon mode. The watermelon armor, which does come in, it does kind of pull a Miley Cyrus, and comes in just like a wrecking ball. It comes down, and in the show, it rolled around. It rolled over enemies. It was like a big. It really was kind of a big giant wrecking ball / bowling ball / Indiana Jones-esque, Zelda-esque type of giant ball rolling down the hallway that you had to avoid, and smashed a lot of the invests that were attacking. So it can be used like that. This is generally its fruit mode. Here's the arms change Gaim. We'll get to him in a minute, but first off, I'm going to pop off his armor here, because I want to show you just the size comparison between the orange and the watermelon. So here's the orange armor compared to the watermelon, which makes sense. I think watermelon arms being a giant armor mech kind of makes sense, because a watermelon is obviously much larger than an orange. So just to give you an idea of how that works. And then we'll have him already unarmored to use with the armor later on. So there's the basic watermelon arm. It's pretty heavy. My one complaint is you can see the top kind of wobbles, because this tab on the helmet really isn't all that strong, no matter which side you tab it into, which mode you tab it on. it's really loose and wobbly, and I wish there were a slightly stronger connection point here, because even when it's pegged in, you can't pick it up by the handle. You can't like grab it by the handle and pick it up, which isn't the end of the world. I mean, it's a big hefty piece, but I would have liked it to maybe just not be quite as wobbly. Just a little bit more solid connection, I think, would have been better there. So yeah, when you take it, you go ahead and pop this part off. You can go ahead and pop this piece off, separate them out like this. There's the helmet. And then you take, the instructions say you can drop him in here like this, and you can. You won't be able to like lock him into place like this, but you can go ahead and drop Gaim into the watermelon armor. Now we'll transform it into the Hovercraft bit first, which hasn't been on the show, I don't believe. I've only seen it in the 2 modes. But take this up, bring these down forward, pop the side panels up like this, to the side. Now, to plug him in, we'll go ahead and lift this up too as well. You can see here the arm pieces. He can plug. There's some pegs here on the bottom, on the inside of the foot panel. There's a couple little pegs. You can kind of see one right there, and right there, that his feet peg into. And it can be tricky to get them on, just because he's not precisely lined up with them. But once you get him plugged on, and then with this one, you can snap him into the body, and he pegs in pretty solidly. You can see I'm holding him up. He snaps in very nicely. And then for the Hovercraft mode, you bring these forward, and then his hands don't close. They're open like that, and they kind of have to be, because since he doesn't have any sort of joint system aside from the shoulder that only goes up and down, you have to kind of hook it around, just friction pressure, hook it into the arm piece. Like I said, the Gaim that comes with it is basic, just so you have a Gaim to sit in here if you don't already have the arms change figure. And in the armor mode, when he gets to the full armor kind of mech mode, it doesn't matter, because you don't really see much of Gaim inside the armor. So if you just want to have him posed on your shelf, the armor can stand by itself without anybody in it. But if you want to have a Gaim in there, he's okay, because he's not detailed, and you don't really see much of him anyway. And then this comes down like this to form the cockpit. You rotate these down to the sides. See if we can't focus that a little better. There we go. And then you leave on the back. You actually leave the helmet attached up here to this connector point, and then you take the blade and the vine / handle part of it like that, and attach it into, open it up, attach it into there, and there you've got his gyro mode, and it's, see if I can't get it to, usually can stand up a little better than that, but apparently it doesn't want to right now. That's okay. We'll pull that up, and there you go. He's got the kind of helicopter blade up there. The fingers can shoot watermelon seeds as kind of Gatling guns, if you have them pointed out. Kind of become weapons. And then, of course, underneath you saw there's the fans to make it look like, you know, the little vertical takeoff and landing thing that it is. It's just a little flying vehicle mode. It's not super amazing design for a hovercraft, but it does the job. It's pretty neat. It's okay. It's a neat third mode for something that didn't necessarily need to have a third mode, and I'm okay with it. I haven't seen it in action in the show, obviously, yet. Maybe it happened earlier today, the one I haven't seen yet. I don't know. And if that's the case, then I look forward to seeing it. But yeah, and then so you can take him out. I'm going to actually swap him out for the arms change now. Pop him out just to show you. Now, if you're going to use the arms change figure in the mech himself, you can actually, he does actually still have, well, he doesn't have all the posability, he does still have the clips here on his shoulders, so you can actually snap, and he's still got the groove in his head, so you can actually snap the orange armor onto him. Snaps all the way down, if you wish. It's, again, he's not really posable. He stands like this. You kind of have to have his arms kind of in a zombie pose to get him to even balance properly, because he likes to fall back, and even there, you can see he's still a little wobbly. But if you want to have somewhere to stick the orange armor, he can wear the armor figures, or the armor pieces from the armor change figures. Set him off to the side. And again, just a quick comparison between them. They're pretty much the same size. This is just kind of a fused, non-painted Gaim. He's got the solid red visor and some gold details on his mask, but other than that, he's just solid blue. So yeah, but roughly the same size. So you can have him in the armor outside to get a good size comparison of how big the armor mode is. So we're going to go ahead and pop him in. He's got the same holes on the bottom of his feet, so you can just peg him onto the same peg holes that we had the other guy in. He will be a little bit floppier up here because he does not have, again, due to unable to fit the arms change armor on as well, and you'll notice that here it hits that peg, so it doesn't close all the way down on the back there. He doesn't lock into place, but he stays on the pegs fairly securely, and once you wrap the armor around him, he's not coming out. But you don't attach the arms to the arms here. Or to these handles. Those are mostly for gyro mode. So in gyro mode, you bring this down, you fold these two panels in on the side. And you see that right here. There's a couple of panels right here on the side that just fold in like that. And then you pop this off and bring this whole panel down onto the front of the body and flip this panel up. And then down here, these leg panels, you fold this armor into the side, fold them up like that to the body, fold the chest panel all the way down like that. We're coming together. The arm panels rotate to the side, down to the side like this, and then before you collapse them like before, I guess I should say. Flip them up like that, and again, take the outer panel, lift it up, collapse it up like that. A lot of pictures show them sticking straight out to the sides like this. I like to fold them kind of down along the arms, more like pauldrons. And then you lift up the back panel here, and under the back panel is the legs for the mech mode. So you fold those down, flatten the feet, fold that back down, and here you've got him almost done in armor mode. I'll back up a little bit and show that off. You can see there's a guy with his head poking out the top. So up here, you come up here, and then now you're going to put this on. It has the same kind of slot to change his visor color. Obviously it doesn't on the painted one, but it will for the arms change. You slide that on over that, and then tab it in. There's a little couple of red gap here. Let's see if I can get in there. You can see it tabs right into that gap right there on the back. So tap that on. And once again, it doesn't tab in securely, and it also doesn't, unlike all the other arms change helmets that will lock into the figurehead, it doesn't even do that. It just sits there. And I've looked at it. It's because of the shape. You can kind of see how this has a couple little divots on the side. It's not a full curve. It kind of comes up and then angles up a little bit right there. It comes straight up and then angles off, and that's what allows it to sit deep enough in to lock into place. And the watermelon bit inside this helmet doesn't have that. You might be able to shave it and shape it in there so it does lock into the head, and I have not attempted that yet. You can unscrew the helmet and pull that out. But it does sit very loosely on his head. It doesn't take much effort to pull it off, which is a little disappointing. I would have liked it. I would have liked it if it could lock into his head and turn with his head. As it is, it just sits facing forward, which is, again, slightly disappointing. It's not the end of the world because I still like the combined mech mode, but it is it's kind of a letdown. And then there's a gap. You can see the silver bar here behind the plastic here. And that groove is where you're going to stick. Either hand can hold it. You'll see there's a little groove, kind of a tab here inside his hand that you can fit that over. And then close his hand around it. And he can hold his little dual-bladed swirly staff that he swirls and slashes with. And again, we'll go back up here. And there is SUIKA Arms, Gaim inside his giant watermelon armor, which is, I like it. I really like to look at it. It's much bigger than I thought it was going to be. It has a lot more weight to it and a lot more mass to it. Turn it sideways, you can see it's still got the giant shell on the back. It's actually a really hefty piece that I wasn't expecting for the arms change, guys. And then just to get a size comparison, again, this is the non-posable one that came with the armor, but it's the same size as the arms change guy. So you get an idea of just how big he is all armored up. And that's really all there is to it. His legs, again, his legs don't really have any posability. Just they lock into place here, and then there's some ankle posability, and you could conceivably, it's a pretty stiff joint here that you could conceivably support him like that. But I wouldn't risk it. I think the weight would be too much for that joint if you tried to actually support him on it when it wasn't locked into place. Other than that, he's got back, front and back, and up and down ratcheting shoulders. He's got non-ratcheting but stiff elbow joints. You can rotate his forearm as well as his wrist here, and then the hinged fingers. The head could have mobility if you untab it. You can turn his head a little bit on Gaim's head on this version. Again, this version does not have a turning head, but again, since it doesn't lock into place there, it's really easy, especially if you don't have it clipped in the back. It's really easy to just pop that right off. So it's best to leave it forward. And again, you can have these sticking straight out to the sides if you wish. Entirely up to you. But yeah, there is the Kamen Rider Gaim DX SUIKA arms, or known as watermelon arms. Giant armor for Gaim.